In the heart of Louisiana stood a stilted cabin tucked deep in the Atchafalaya swamp that lurked above murky alligator-infested waters, surrounded by cypress trees covered in Spanish moss. The air around this foreboding place hung thick with death. Inside the cabin, above the creaking wooden beams, were vampires, ancient and primal, with sharp, jagged teeth, bat-like appearance, and decaying of swamp rot. These creatures were not elegant by any means. In fact, quite the contrary. Each night, they would drift into the Bayou Chene, gliding through the waters like the alligators around them, stalking their prey, oftentimes sneaking into open windows at night, or luring the late-night drunk close to the backwaters of the swamp, feeding on their victims slowly, savoring the terror in every drop, only leaving some barely alive and hanging on to life, dazed and clueless about what happened to them the next day. It wasn't until a beautiful girl named Kel, who worked at a local bar, noticed her regulars starting to disappear, or would come stumbling in, ranting and muttering about demons in the water. At first she blew it off, thinking maybe the regulars had too much to drink. That was until she saw something odd on a local man named Murphy, who came in later that evening. The man looked pale, weak, and was almost in a trance. He also had 4 puncture wounds on his neck adjacent to each other, with lots of dried blood on his collar. When she asked him if he was okay, he just stared at her with no response or no expression. She said she would grab him his usual drink for the evening, but before she could walk away, he grabbed her by her arm with great force. In shock, Kel let out a slight scream, getting the attention of the whole bar. "They are coming. They are coming for all of us," he said, looking straight into Kel's eyes with pure panic and fear. "Don't go near the water. It's too late for me, but you still have time to leave." The man then stood up, knocking the bar stool over and pacing out the front door. The next morning, they found that same man's dead body, drained completely dry. A sense of panic soon spread of the news, and slowly more and more locals went missing. Soon, locals gathered to take on this evil that lurked in the swamp, not knowing what they were truly about to encounter. They finally came across an old stilted cabin. Little did they know, they just walked into their own brackish tomb. Glowing red eyes could be seen in the darkness, peeking out from the water, as each of the locals fell prey to these vampires of the swamp, being dragged down into the waters as their screams became swallowed by the swamp. That same year, in 1927, Bayou Chene was completely flooded, wiping out all history and leaving no trace of the tragedies that took place. But truth be told, the vampires still remain, hidden away, patiently hunting and existing till this day.